Damn it. I don't know what's happening here.
And the good news is that we're live.
Well, that's amazing, other than I can't. Okay. Well, I don't know why it's not going.
It's not going on your end?
Uh-uh.
I can hear you.
I mean, well, I'm talking about it's not. I don't know if I'm live streaming. I guess.
You are now. I just got some green check marks.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get my phone back in here.
All right.
Let's see. I'm trying to take up some of the screen here. TikTok. I'm not like shrinking out of the screen. Okay. Finally got my camera set up. Okay.
All right.
All right. Hi guys. That was so long. Oh, I gotta shut down my notifications here. All right. Do not disturb. Okay. Hopefully that works. Okay. Oh, I got it. Jeez, cat. Okay. Hopefully now we're ready. Jeez. That wasn't annoying at all. Sorry, guys. Holy cow. All right. Trying to get myself in the picture here for Dan, too.
There we go.
All right. A little tall. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is about the best I can do, Dan. This is what I got.
So let me ask you, do you want to go to the stats first, or do you want to go to the appreciation charts? Because they're both very interesting stuff going on.
You mean your appreciation charts or mine?
Yours.
Oh, let's do the stats first.
Okay, let's go with the
stats. Let's warm me up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's do that. I got a user over here.
You ready? Here we go. Stats for King County.
Okay. Yes, okay. Stats for King County. All right. So here we go. King County, 1.5 month supply of inventory. 33% of sellers set offer review dates. 38% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market if you listed between October 1st and October 7th. And 49% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market if you listed between September 17th and September 30th. So strong market I'm going to put it this way. It's a strong market for new listings coming on the market. It's a strong seller's market for new listings coming on the market in King County. So where things kind of go sideways for sellers in King County is if you miss that first 14 days. And then the market softens significantly. So there's not a lot of showings per month right now in King County. I was looking the other day and I didn't write it down, but it was like something like 7 per month. So that's not a lot of showings. So you have to get under contract within the first 14 days. It's just all the reason to go ahead and be staged, be 100% ready for the market when you go on. It's imperative because you do not want to miss that first 7 to 14 days. You're looking at doing price reductions within the first 2 to 4 weeks. And those price reductions on $700, $800, $900 million homes are significant. You know, you can't just go on, you can't do a $10,000 price reduction on a $900,000 home. Right. So, putting that extra money into for staging, a few extra $1,000 to stage is worth its weight in gold. So anyway, you know how I feel about staging, Dan.
Well, it's one of the 12 steps.
It is. It absolutely is. It's very, very important. Very important.
In fact, it's right up there toward the top of the 12 steps, right? No.
It's
it's pretty important.
Yeah, there's 12 steps. And one of the things I recommend is go ahead and taking a look at your front door and seeing if it needs updated hardware or if maybe it needs painting or restaining. Or maybe you just want a new style front door. Maybe that would be the best option if you have a really dated front door, or it looks, especially worn. Because the front door is a buyer's very first impression when they walk in a home, so it makes a lot of difference.
Just by looking at the stats, it looks like if you get it sold in the first 2 weeks, you're doing fine. It's like when it's fresh and new.
The thing about it is, you guys, if you get your house under contract within the first 2 weeks. You're not negotiating price. At least you're probably not. You're not having to buy the buyer a 2-1 buy down. If you're stuck on the market 3 or 4 weeks down the road, the buyers are looking for a 2-1 buy down. My buyers are. We're looking at a house 35 days on the market, and if they haven't done a significant price reduction, we're definitely asking for that 2-1 buy down. And if your house value is $700,000 to $800,000, you're looking at $20,000, and that's what the buyer is going to be asking, and they're expecting it. They are expecting it at this point. Interest rates are 8%.
Yep. Yes.
So with interest rates, seemingly to increase every week, it feels like buyers are feeling more and more pinched. That 2-1 buy down gives them a couple of years buffer before they have to make that full payment at 8%. And also gives them a couple of years maybe where they could potentially refinance. So I'm going to go grab a bottle of water because I am very thirsty. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I feel better now. I can wet my whistle. Okay. All right. So you want to talk about, should we talk about Snohomish County, Dan?
We should talk about Snohomish County. Hang on.
We love Snohomish County.
Let's bring the stats
I live in Snohomish County. I work, my office is in Woodinville, so that's King County. And then I live in Snohomish County, in Snohomish. Oh, you got the stats on the screen. That's very nice. I could just read them right off the screen, Dan.
There you go, yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, I almost read King County. Okay. Snohomish County, 1.3 months supply of inventory. 29% of sellers set offer review dates. Whoops. 34% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market. So if they listed their home October 1st through October 7th. 45% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market. So if they listed between September 17th and September 30th. So Snohomish County market, a hot market for new listings. I'm going to qualify that from now on because this is not for the market in general. It's a hot seller's market for new listings coming on the market. So again, in Snohomish, homes that have remained on the market over 14 days, looking at doing price reductions. There were a lot of price reductions this past week. I wrote it down, but I didn't write it down for you guys. But there were I remember it being almost as many as the new listings coming on the market. So, and about 10% of the inventory is was reduced this past week as far as price reductions. So that's significant. So I had another piece of data I wanted to share on Snohomish County. I forgot to do it on King County. So the number of homes that are actually on the market available for sale is 51% less than it was last year at this time. So we did have a glutton of homes on the market last year because we had some leftover inventory as interest rates more than doubled in the spring. So a lot of sellers popped on the market hoping to sell before things start to kind of go, hit the skids last year because of interest rates that more than doubled. So we had extra homes on the market towards last fall, extra inventory that did get chewed up by January, by the way. So this year we do not have that much inventory. We're down 51%. So that's why I think our data shows that the new listings coming on the market are extremely attractive to the buyers that remain on the market.
That makes
as you can see, half of them are getting snapped up within 14 days. So that's a hot market, typically speaking. But it's hot for new listings, not for the market in general. Just want to be clear with that.
That's kind of remarkable because last year at this time, inventory had already started shrinking, and we're down another 51% from that, right?
And inventory, so inventory is kind of stabilized because we have so few homes coming on the market now. And even though we have fewer buyers, it's kind of stabilized. So King County has maintained its inventory at 1.5 months, and it has for a couple of weeks. And Snohomish County has maintained their inventory at 1.3 months for several weeks. It's much more inventory than there was a month ago. But right now, we're having just about as many homes go under contract as homes that are being listed each week. So week over week. So it's an interesting dynamic right now in the market. It's much more buyer friendly because you have a lot more homes that are on the market that have been on the market more than 14 days. And those sellers are going to negotiate with you. If they don't, they're going to sit longer. So my advice to you sellers, yes, we want to buy you a 2-1 buy down. Yes. You've been on the market more than 14 days. Yes, buyers, we were happy to do that for you. So they will be looking for some kind of concession.
Right.
And and
You
listen,
do you mind if we bring up that one graphic on the market time so that we could put some numbers?
You mean what it costs the seller? Time on the market? Well, yeah. So time on the market in Snohomish County, I put together a chart a couple weeks ago about how much money it costs the seller to be on the market for a certain length of time. So let's say, 0 to 7 days is obviously that's par, right? So if you're on the market 8 to 14 days, it costs you 2.75% Snohomish County. And that equates to, if you're using average sales price, and I think it's 7 something was the average sales price, that would cost you $22,344 if you missed the first week on the market. So these are all averages, but this is if you went pending 8 to 14 days on the market. So you really ideally want to go pending within the first 7 days, right? That's going to get you the most money, probably going to get full price at least. So now let's go down this list. So if you were on the market, let's say 15 to 30 days, that's going to cost you 2.75%. And what that looks like monetarily is that's $65,000. If you miss the first 2 weeks on the market, it could cost you $65,000. On average, it costs you $65,000. That's a scary number. That's if you miss the first 2 weeks. So, and that again, that's on an average sales price of whatever our average sales price was then. I believe it was like 726 or something like that. Anyway,
that's a huge jump. I mean, it's
a huge jump. So if you get your house under contract within the first 14 days, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. But if you miss that first 14 days, this chart breaks down what it costs you. So for essentially 2 to 4 weeks, if you sell within the 2 to 4 week period, it could cost you up to $65,000, and that not even up to $65,000. That's an average of $65,000. So that should be enough to scare every seller out there in Snohomish County to stage. I don't care if it costs you $4,000.
Yes, that's right.
$4,000 is nothing compared to what time on the market can cost you. So listen, this is a direct correlation to time on the market and what it costs you, what the average sales price is. And average sales price. And I think we did price per square foot is what I did.
Yeah.
So if we look at 31 to 90 days on the market, that costs you 9.5%, which equates to $77,000. So that's 30 to 90 days on the market.
Wow.
So that's an average of 70. That's an average of $77,000. You guys, you don't want to go there. And that was 31 to 90 days on the market. So that 15 to 30 days cost you $65,000. It costs you a little bit more if you sit on the market a couple of months.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what, that's got to be kind of nerve wracking if you're sitting on the market for over 30 days. And
scary.
It's got to be.
Yeah, and and a lot of times it's not the seller's fault. So I'm not really sellers. I'm not blaming you here. So a lot of times they're just inherent qualities about the property that for some reason make it less than ideal for the average buyer. And so there's certain things that you may not be able to overcome with staging, right? So I kind of use staging as kind of a fix-all, cure-all for getting a home sold, but that's not necessarily the case. You would want to be staged anyway, but if you have power lines behind you or you have an unusual floor plan, then there's a good chance you're not going to sell within the first 2 weeks. And again, the price reduction tactic you might not want to jump on board with that either if you've already taken those things into account. It's just going to take more people getting through your home. So I'm talking about, the average home that has the open floor plan that buyers like now, the 2 or 3 car garage attached, has a fenced yard of some sort, is a 1 or 2 story or split level or daylight rambler, the ordinary floor plans where you get 6 to 10 people through and someone will want to buy it.
Right.
So, but there are unusual circumstances, and I am not picking on you guys. So, and I also don't want you dropping price too fast because that's not necessary. If you've taken into account the inherent drawback, whatever that is.
Well, basically, you're saying just do all the steps, make sure everything is, the 12 steps to the sale from Cat Howard coming
That's
out
right.
in
Cat's successful formula for listing a home is what that's called.
coming out in ebook shortly.
For those of you that are not in the know.
And price the house right, and you got to really. I mean, it should work out just fine. I would imagine.
So I'll tell you what you have to do, Dan.
Okay.
Really, the best thing that a good real estate broker can do for their seller is look at the homes that came on the market in the 7 days prior to them going live. Call those listing agents that received an offer in that previous 7 days and find out how much activity they had and how many offers they received. And that's it. And then price accordingly, right? So if they got one offer and they were on the market 7 days, then you're like, and how many people came through the house? Were there 10 that came through the house, or there's only 3? So you need to know that, because if there's only 3, then the chance of that person getting a contract was just lucky, right? Because usually it takes 7 to 10 showings, 7 to 14 showings for someone to fall in love with the house. So in there are some homes that just about every single person through is going to fall in love with it because the house has been either completely updated and it has a fabulous view and a perfect yard and it's been perfectly maintained and it's priced right. And there's not a lot of reasons somebody would not like it. So if it's in a great area. So there are some homes that almost every single person through would want to write an offer, but that's not the case in general. But your real estate broker can make a big difference in how you think about pricing your home, because you have to compete with the people that are on the market now, not the ones from last week, by the way, the ones that are actually on the market now. So not, we can talk to the ones that sold last week and went under contract last week, but we also need to be cognizant of who is on the market, who's coming on the market when you're coming on the market. And because that's your competition. That's not the competition from last week. It's the competition you have this week with the other new listings. And that really is who your competition is. You do need to look at the listings that have been on the market for a while. That's not your competition. We got almost 50% of homes getting under contract within the first 2 weeks of listing. Those are your competition. You look at who's coming on the market when you go on the market. And so what I do, I list late on Thursday, like 5. I know we're supposed to be on the market technically by 5 p.m. I try to do that. But I watch all the listings that come on Wednesday and Thursday, and I make sure that whatever home I'm listing at that particular week, that we are competitive when we go live, that our price is competitive. If we need to make a last minute adjustment, either up or down, because I'm happy to pull you guys up if the competition is higher, as long as we're not going above what it's going to sell at.
Right.
As long as we're not crazy, or we don't have a bunch of overzealous sellers all overpricing. So we don't want to join that group. So, but if you're, we can easily go up or we can go down. And hopefully we've done all our math right, and we've looked at all the right comps, and hopefully we're just priced square on where we should be.
Right.
So, but anyway, that's the cost of waiting or sitting on the market is dramatic. Ooh. With an average of, $65,000 if you're on the market 2 weeks to a month. That's the average of what it would cost you if you don't get sold in the first 7 days. So pretty huge numbers. So you always want to go ahead and do all the preparations that your agent is recommending, unless you just think they're batshit crazy, at which point dump them. So, but always listen to your professional real estate broker when it comes to preparing your house for a market. Hey, there's batshit crazy realtors out there. I think they might not just be not your style, you know. So anyway, I didn't say that. Okay, so let me do a quick change here. I think I might throw on a jacket. It's a little chilly out here anyway.
Hey, what do you think we go to the 10-year appreciation on the single-family residence versus the?
You don't want to do any more stats, Dan?
Oh, do we have more stats to do?
We only did King and Snohomish. Is that all you care about?
Oh, hey, hang on. I'm getting Kitsap up right now. Here we go, Kitsap.
I know you're excited about Kitsap. Let me grab a jacket.
Yes. Well, let's see here. What's happening? Kitsap. We're not getting a good.
All right, we're going black on black, guys.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
You can you see Kitsap on the screen? Or is it all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Going with the motorcycle jacket again.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Here we go. All right. So I guess you want me to jump to Kitsap. It's kind of what you're telling me.
Well, if you'd rather go, where else can we go?
Let's just go to Kitsap because that's what you got on the screen. I got this. Okay.
Okay.
Kitsap County, 1.5 months supply of inventory. 29% of sellers got under 29% of sellers set offer review dates in Kitsap County. 41% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market. If you listed from October 1st through October 7th. And this number, again, doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's for a different time frame. So 39% of sellers got under contract within the first 14 days on the market. And that's if they listed between September 17th and September 30th. So the market slowed down a tad there. I believe it's kind of picked back up a little bit. Although with interest rates, I don't understand that. But anyway, that's Kitsap County. Should we do Pierce? I know you like Pierce County.
Let's go Pierce County. How about Pierce?
All right. Let's go Pierce County.
There we go. Let's go Pierce County.
Okay. Pierce County, 1.5 months supply of inventory. 19% of sellers set offer review dates in Pierce County. 33% of sellers went under contract within the first 7 days on the market. And that's if they listed between October 1st and October 7th. 39% of sellers in Pierce County got under contract within the first 14 days on the market. And that's if they listed between September 17th and September 30th. So strong numbers still for Pierce County. I want to also add for Pierce County, the number of homes actually available for sale is down 40% this year as compared to this year, last year, this time of year. So this October or September versus September 2022. So interestingly enough, so the supply is a lot lower than it was last year.
Yeah, boy.
So do you want to go over home buying steps first?
How about Mason? You want to try Mason?
You want to do Mason? We're gonna be jumping around here a little bit, guys, but that's okay. Yeah. We want to show Mason some love.
Let's go Mason. Okay. Mason and Skagit.
Mason County. Whoops, I gotta look. Mason County, 2.5 months supply of inventory. 10%. 10% of sellers set offer review dates. These numbers aren't gonna make sense again. 47% of sellers got on a contract within the first 7 days on the market if they listed between October 1st and October 7th. I got to tell you, that was a hot week. 30% of sellers got under contract if you listed your home September 17th through September 30th. So that was the time frame before. They got under contract within the first 14 days on the market. So Mason County suffering the same fate as, what was it?
Was it Kitsap?
I think it was Kitsap, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Kitsap was, that's King. Okay. Where's my Kitsap? Yeah, Kitsap, because their 14-day data was less than their 7-day data So I think what happened is September 17th through September 30th was not as busy for buyers, but it seems like the first week of October picked up significantly, is what it looks
That
like to me.
okay, that makes sense.
So should we go ahead and throw Skagit in here too?
Yeah, let's throw Skagit in.
Skagit County, 2.1 month supply of inventory. 0% of sellers set offer review dates. 19% of sellers got under contract within the first 7 days on the market, and that's if they listed October 1st through October 7th. 36% of sellers in Skagit County got under contract within the first 14 days on the market, and that's if they listed between September 17th and September 30th. So solid numbers there still for Skagit County. It's, market softening in the outerlying counties, staying strong for the new listings, and Snohomish, Mission King counties for sure. So now, Dan, where are we at time wise? We're gonna lose our sunshine. Not that we have any sun, guys. There's still sun. It's raining. It's wet. And I have a very boring backdrop. I really wanted to face the other direction, but it's getting later in the year. And unless we get set up early enough, my face is, I'm getting all shadowy and stuff. I like having my beautiful front yard. It's my backdrop. I don't want my siding. It's new paint, but I don't want it as my backdrop. Sorry, I'm whining. Okay,
let's go to
the run through home buying steps, because we want to get that in a complete video, and I don't want to leave it off.
Oh, do you want to do the home buying steps right now?
Yeah, can I just run through that really quick?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them individually. I just want to mention them really quick so we can get a video of that out, a summary video.
Okay, there we go. All right.
So, home buying steps for buyers in Western Washington. Number 1, get your finances in order. Number 2, determine your budget and your priorities. Number 3, find a knowledgeable realtor. I'm knowledgeable. Number 4, start house hunting. That's the fun part, guys. Step number 5 in the home buying process is make an offer. Step number 6 is have the home inspected and have your lender order the appraisal. Step number 7 is finalize your financing. Get the rest of your documents to your lender. Step number 8, 1 to 5 days prior to closing, you want to have your final walkthrough, and you also want to set up a signing appointment. And step number 9 is the day of closing. You're going to get the keys and your loan is going to fund. Step 10, move in. The very best part. Break open the bottle of champagne. And don't forget to transfer the utilities before you move in. Forgot about that one. That should be, it should be under really step 8 or step 9 includes changing over your utilities, because you want to do that maybe before the last day.
Yes, I think you probably would.
So, and the most important thing is enjoy your new home. And listen, if you're going to make any updates, do them right away, so you get to enjoy them before you sell the home. So you want to put in that pretty modern laminate flooring, do that fairly quickly so you get to enjoy that. Same thing with the quartz countertops, just saying. Anyway, that's a quick run through the steps of buying a home. We've broken that out individually into individual videos for you guys, but I just wanted to make one video that has all the steps in it as a summary. Yeah, one swoop. So a little summary there. We have lots of good stuff left for you guys, though. Dan keeps wanting to kind of put the cart in front of the horse. But let's, I know you want to get to these fourplexes.
I think it's very interesting stuff.
Yeah. So I have a couple stories, but I'll tell those after we talk about the fourplexes.
Oh, okay. Whenever you want to tell stories, just let me know. That's no problem.
That's okay. We can tell the story at the end. The lighting's not as good. That's okay. I do want them to be able to see the screen and, to us to get a good rundown on these charts here. So which one are you going to put up first, Dan?
Let's try.
And for you TikTokers at home, let's see. What are you doing? You're doing the 10-year appreciation. This is what I'm putting up. So right here. And we've got the 4 counties, and we're comparing, what we're doing is we're comparing the 10-year appreciation on fourplexes versus single family residential in 4 counties. The 4 counties are Kitsap, Snohomish, King, and Grays Harbor. So we're comparing the 10-year appreciation for fourplexes versus single family. It's remarkable. Fourplexes outperformed single family handily. As a matter of fact, I can tell you what the numbers are. So let's look at Kitsap County. They're the wildest batch. Kitsap County single family residential went up 123% in the past 10 years. Fourplexes, 348%. Now, don't you wish you bought a fourplex in Kitsap County 10 years ago? I do.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at Snohomish County. So Snohomish County single family residential went up 140% in the last 10 years. Snohomish County fourplexes went up 155% in the last 10 years. So that's 15% more. So it's still outpaced single family. Again, remarkable. Pierce County single family residential went up 146%. Well, Pierce County fourplexes went up 218%.
Wow.
Again, way outpaced single family. Okay, this is another good one. Grays Harbor. Grays Harbor single family residential went up 168%, but get what their fourplexes did. Grays Harbor fourplexes went up 236%. Again, far outpacing single family. So, pretty incredible numbers. I love that. I looked at that and I thought, what I was trying to do is I was trying to get a grasp for my investor clients has appreciation been a big factor in what you should consider when you're purchasing like a fourplex, a multifamily. And you can see historically over the past 10 years, it definitely has played a huge role. So that if single family wasn't penciling, if multifamily wasn't penciling very well, it became less of a factor over the past 10 years. So that's why you see, I think, a lot of multifamily in King County being priced rather aggressively compared to what the rents coming in are, what the right. Income is. And I think the same is true a lot of Snohomish County. So right. It's very interesting. I just thought I pulled the data and it kind of made my eyes pop out of my head. So I was like, Kitsap, So I don't know how that's so vastly different from, how the fourplexes outpaced single family for appreciation rate that much, but it's pretty remarkable.
Well, it is. I mean, it really is remarkable because when you're talking fourplexes, typically that's an investment property. It doesn't have to be though. You could buy a it's really nice to know that you could buy a fourplex with 3.5% down on an FHA loan, and then rent out the other 3 units and get all that appreciation that you're not giving up any appreciation versus a single family residence. In fact, you're gaining some appreciation.
At least over the past 10 years. I mean, we're looking in retrospect now, but I mean, it bears out pretty solidly between all the counties that we looked at. There was a fair amount more appreciation for the fourplexes than there were for single family residential. So I like that. Well, it shows that those have been good investments for the past 10 years.
And depending on how it cash flows out, but just throwing out a scenario, you get into something like this with a lower down payment, which you can do, and on top of that, I got to tell you, we just got confirmation last week of a new change in the Fannie Mae guidelines, so you could actually just laying it out for you, but you could technically put a 5% down conventional on a multi-unit, on a fourplex, owner occupied, and you could have the seller actually apply selling concessions to the down payment. That's
new. That's November 18th, right, Dan? That takes effect?
November 18th, yeah. So
that's incredible. So now the seller can actually contribute to the buyer's down payment, which is Never heard of that in my life.
Yeah. I mean, this is just really quite remarkable because
I mean, the seller
when you
could never help you buy your home before. Now they can actually give you money.
yeah, I mean,
Sorry, it's just so weird.
when you
I like
stop
it.
and when you stop and think about it, it's very strange. And the thing is, it's so beautiful is that you've got three other renters. Let's just say hypothetically, of course, but you're buying a place. You got one place for yourself as the homeowner, and then you've got three other rental units right there. They're supporting the cash flow. It's a beautiful thing, and you're not giving up any appreciation. I thought this is
Right.
one of the most remarkable charts you could possibly think of, but I
I,
digress.
I just, I just, I just wanted to see because I've been
Yeah,
doing a lot of research on fourplexes, and I used fourplexes, so where it's always apples to apples here. That's why I did that.
right.
But I just was really interested to see if you bought single family, back 10 years ago versus if you bought a fourplex. And this just shocked me. I love this. This is
Yeah.
what I live for. I love this interesting data. So I
Let,
just,
let's
so it going forward, it'd be interesting to see how that bears out over the next
yeah,
couple of years.
yeah. Let's move to the next one.
Okay, let
And
me
then
do it. Let me do a quick change.
okay.
I gotta do a quick change here, Dan. I know you don't mind.
No, 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 not at all.
Just go through the outfits like I'm drinking water, Hold on.
Well,
Microphone's off here. All right, last minute change. Let's do this. All right.
okay.
So mic's back up here. Okay.
So
All right, I'm coming back.
okay. So, do you mind if I just babble on for a second? I
Sure.
want to run something past you here.
Okay.
This really
Yeah,
gets me here. So
absolutely.
so we just came off of one of the graphics there, the last one, showing that the 10-year appreciation on which it seems counterintuitive, but okay, let's go with the numbers. You make more money in appreciation on a fourplex than you would on a single family residential. That's what we were just showing. But the other half of that coin, you would think, all right, if you're making more, they would be more expensive. But what we find out with this graphic is that the fourplexes are actually less expensive, right?
So yeah, so this is a direct. Because I wanted to see what is the average price per square foot, single family residential versus fourplexes, and
Right.
so in the various counties, right, the same four counties. So King County, Snohomish County, Kitsap County, and Grays Harbor counties. And so this is what I came up with. So this is the average price per square foot for 2023 for each of those categories. So we have Kitsap County and this is single family residential for Kitsap County is running $335 a square foot. For a fourplex, it's running $318 a square foot. So they're still below what single family would be price per square foot, and you would expect that. So, and then as we go through the counties, so Snohomish County single family residential is averaging price per square foot $401. Snohomish County fourplexes are averaging $296 a square foot. So we're going to talk about what this means here in just a second. So Pierce County average price per square foot for single family residential is $319 per square foot. Price per square foot for fourplexes in Pierce County is $283 a square foot. Now, Grays Harbor is another interesting one. Again, we'll talk about this in just a second. So price per square foot for single family residential in Grays Harbor County is $273 a square foot. It's only $150 $158 a square foot for fourplexes in Grays Harbor County for average price per square foot. So the average price per square foot for fourplexes in Grays Harbor County is $158 per square foot. So now if you look at this chart, look at Grays Harbor and Snohomish counties, right? So there's the biggest disparity between the price per square foot for fourplexes and single family residential for both of those counties. As a matter of fact, it's 35% higher price per square foot in Snohomish County for single family residential versus fourplexes. In Grays Harbor County, it's 73% difference. So the single family residential price per square foot is 73% higher than the price per square foot for fourplexes in Grays Harbor County. So are those two counties that we should keep an eye on? Fourplexes look like they have room to come up if we're, if it's apples to apples. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm just looking at the data going,
Well, there's one more thing too that we didn't even put up here. But if I remember from the numbers from, was it a week or two ago, we were looking at the rental price increases, right? In
yes.
areas. So not only are you getting cheaper prices at Grays Harbor, you're getting cheaper prices price per square foot. You got tremendous appreciation. And then thirdly, the third component of all that is that you've got the best rental increases on a percentage basis, or right up there. I mean, Grays Harbor is right up there. And
Grays
so
Harbor, Aberdeen. Showing that area to all my investors, loving it.
I mean, you really can't, from an investment standpoint, I'm not trying to, pimp anything out or anything like that, but I'm just saying from a number standpoint, boy, oh boy, does that math ever pencil over in that neck of the woods, right? The Aberdeen, Grays Harbor area. It really pencils out really well.
Well, we've got a number. I mean, I've put some investors in down there in Grays Harbor, and I don't put them in anything that doesn't pencil. I want to see them cash flowing. I want them happy. And we've been able to do that. My daughter's picked up some property down there. My transaction coordinator's picked up some property down there. Everybody's cash flowing, and I mean positive. So, and they have property managers handling them, so they don't have to really touch them for the most part. And so got a lot of happy investors going down to Aberdeen.
Do you mind? Because we've sort of been looking at this course, and you've been taking a little bit more than me. But this does it pencil course. That, yes. Basically it's to be able to properly place a valuation on a property, make sure it's cash flowing right.
Cash flowing, yes. I mean, if your primary goal is cash flowing, then we can take it, and that's a hard fast number to come up with. Utilizing it's a course that Joe Still puts on across the country. It's called Does It Pencil, and it helps investors and real estate brokers help their investor clients figure out if a property is cash flowing. And there's a lot more to it than just that, but the cash flow aspect is one of the things that I think is most important right now in when you're investing in property. I don't know how much upside we have appreciation wise. I think that's going to be an obvious over time. We're going to do fine. Right. But I think with interest rates going up, that's going to put downward pressure on appreciation. So I think that investors need to look at this more as, does it cash flow? Does it pencil? Right. So, and that's the criteria that I've been using when I've been advising my investor clients is let's make sure it does cash flow, because those properties are out there.
And the thing is, just in case, you never know what's going to happen. But if it cash flows at 8%, it's probably going to cash flow okay at 6.5%.
And that's the rest of the conversation I have with my investor clients is, listen, if we've got this thing cash flowing at 8.5%, because now I'm having to use 8.5% to see if it cash flows, which I don't like. But if I can get it to cash flow at 8.5%, including property management expenses, including repairs and maintenance, potential upcoming repairs and maintenance, that's what you want to see. Right. And factoring a 1 month vacancy rate for all the units. So I try to be very conservative with my approach. And if it cash flows at that point, then I feel like we've got a good a good property in our hands. We can look more deeply into, start calling the agent, start to get the Schedule E from the seller, and make sure that what the reporting on the listing is actually true.
That's a big deal to do, as a service for clients, is really be able to dig in and look with real precision at whether the property you're looking at really is going to cash flow for you, if it's going to be positive or negative, and
That's
what
right.
you're looking at.
That's right. And there's obviously there's more than just cash flow that can make an investor money, but cash flow is a very important aspect. And so, with time, typically we can expect properties are going to appreciate, but forecasting that appreciation right now, I feel like, is not going to be very accurate. I think that we're going to see appreciation this year on single family residential probably land at about 7 or 8%, which, if you asked me last year, I would have thought it might have went down, especially if you told me interest rates were going to go up another couple percent. So I think that buyer demand is stronger than what most of us anticipated. Being able to withstand 8.5% interest rates is where we're headed. So, anyway, did you want to talk about the triplex that I put together, Dan?
Yeah, let's put that together.
Well, let's segue right into. So this is, I took this Does It Pencil course 20 years ago, maybe longer, but I recently took a free webinar. I should put this out there. This guy Joe Still, he knows a lot about commercial real estate, about real estate investing. Probably one of the most knowledgeable individuals I've run into in my career. But he's putting on this Does It Pencil webinar. It's free every Friday at 9:00 in the morning. And you can pop on there. It's free. I mean, just literally go to doesitpencil.com. I'm sure there's a section that says webinars, and you can just go in there. He'll send you the link, and you can pop on Friday morning at 9 a.m. He will talk for about, he talks for maybe 35, 40 minutes on a topic. Very educational. He'll play a couple of videos that they've already got pre-set up for you to run through what's called an APOD, your annualized property operating data. So it can show you how to break down that data to get your net operating income, et cetera. So very interesting. And he'll run you through an entire example as to whether that property cash flows. That's what you're going to end up with at the end of the day, positive or negative cash flow for a particular property. So he runs you through an entire example. And on the HP, what is it? HP
or something like that.
11B calculator or something like that. You can download, by the way, that app. You can download an app that actually works like an HP, the calculator for the property calculator. You can download that. It's $6 app. So I downloaded that. So I've decided to retake the course. So I'm going to retake Does It Pencil. I'm doing the first class right now. It's 5 hours. I'm almost done with it. Costs $179. But the thing of it is, if you take the first 2 classes, that's 10 hours total. You can get your CREA, your Certified Real Estate Analyst designation. I want that. Because I know this stuff already, but I want the designation, and I want to make sure that I can pass the test. So I'm retaking the course, and it's good because I'm learning how to use that calculator. That calculator was never my friend, but I understood the concepts. So this is just kind of reinstilling those the verbiage and all the fine points and how to help advise your investor clients and let them know. I went through probably 6 to 10 properties this morning with an investor over the phone. And she kept giving me new address, and I kept running it through my calculator, doing another APOD right there on the spot. And, you get pretty proficient at it. So, and I could tell her whether it was going to pencil or not. Yeah. So, and most of the properties she was picking, because they're close in, they're in Marysville, they don't pencil. If they're $650 and they're getting $3,000 a month in income, that's not going to pencil.
I got a question for you, Kat. And you can say no, but hopefully maybe I can talk.
Maybe I'll say yes. You know,
maybe
I
you'll
like to
do
make you
this.
happy, Dan.
Yes, that's right. And so what I was hoping for is, let's say we've got somebody watching this live stream, or maybe the the
A
cut ups,
TikToker or something.
TikTok or
Mr. Fat
Facebook,
Tuesday, you do know you're on live blast, right? Mr. Fat
or
Tuesday's got a lot to say to somebody.
yes, he
I don't think
does.
there's anybody out there either.
But if or maybe YouTube, they're watching it anyway. Somewhere in the world, they're watching this thing,
Yes.
right? And they say, "Wait a minute, I want to know: does this property does it pencil? How well does it cash flow? Can they get in touch with you?"
Call me.
Okay. Can I put?
Call me. Yeah.
Okay.
You can put my number on the screen if you want to.
You sure?
Yeah. It's 206-465-2622. He's ornery, you guys, honestly. So it's 206-465-2622. And it's Cat Howard you're trying to get a hold of. So don't ask for Susie. It's Cat.
Hang on. We'll put this. Hang on. Let's do that again here. Cat.
So yeah, if you want to know how much, if a property is penciling,
yes. What's
if it's cash flowing, call me.
What's the number again?
206 465
465
2622.
2632.
Dan, you know me. It's 2622. I know he has my phone number. He's working with some of my clients. There's the number at the bottom of the screen. Not for you two TikTokers. You guys have my number. It's on my TikTok channel. You can see it. So, anyway, but yes, if somebody wants to know if their property is cash flowing, or if they're looking at buying a property, happy to run those numbers for you. And that's probably almost anywhere in the country, really, because it's going to be relatively the same. You know, your cost to close on a property is going to be different, but the cost of operating the property, you'll have all those expenses and things. So it should be relatively the same. So happy to do that for you guys. Thanks for bringing that up, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome, Kat. Hang on.
I love it when you find me work to do. Because you know I love my job, and I'm not even being facetious. I really do love my job. That's not even. It's very true.
Work.
I'm sick when I'm on the phone with an investor and I'm running numbers. I'm just like, I'm in my groove. That's what I love to do. Anyway.
465. Hang on. I'm making a super duper banner here.
Always creating a big banner for me.
Yes.
So you guys, we're also streaming live on StreamYard or Yardstream, whatever the hell that's called. I don't know. I know I can't say that. Sorry. But
look at the banner. It's just fantastic. Call Kat at 206-465-2622. There you go.
Does that investment property cash flow? Yeah, that's right. Just give me a call. I'm happy to run the numbers for you.
You know what I'm going to do?
No. What are you going to do, Dan?
I'm going to edit this part out, and I'm going to put this not out. I don't mean edit it out, but cut it up into segments like we do sometimes.
Yeah.
Put it out on YouTube. I'm going to make this the thumbnail, so it says, "Does the investment property," right there on the thumbnail. What do you think?
I like it.
Okay.
I think that's a great thing to do. I think it's a good idea.
All right. Anyways,
Dan and his thumbnails. You have to be on social media to know what that means.
I'm just learning about some of this stuff.
Okay, so I have a fun project I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I was looking for investment property for a client, and I ran across this triplex in Aberdeen. Now you guys know I love to look for investment property in Aberdeen because they come really close to penciling, and sometimes they do. So it was this really cool property. It was listed for $350. Now I'm just going to tell you, it has gone pending because I was right. It comes close to penciling, and so somebody did put an offer in on it. Since I pulled this data 2 days ago, so it was available when I pulled the data. So okay, so this is what we got. We have so they listed it at $350. So your down payment would be $87,500 for 25% down. The loan I calculated 8%. I guess I probably should have calculated that at 8.5 as of today, but sorry guys, 8% is what I calculated at. So the total potential gross income is Did I write the rent down here? I didn't, but the total rents for the year would be $41,400. So a good amount of rent. So it was a triplex. And these were projected numbers too, I should add. Sometimes those are not always accurate. I think they probably were in this case. Aberdeen, the rental market is pretty tight. There's not a lot of big swings in what they charge for 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. So it's pretty solid. This is an older home, like a lot of the older homes are the older homes in Aberdeen. Most of the homes are older. 100 years old is often very common. This one probably was about 100 years old, but looked like it was nicely maintained. To be fair, it was pretty cute. So now you have expenses. So we've got purchase price, down payment, loan rate at 8%. By the way, the payment would be $19.26 a month. So your annual debt service for that would be $23,112. So right off the top, that's not a giant payment. That's why I love Aberdeen.
That's right.
So expenses. So we're figuring 5% vacancy on this one at $2,070 for a year. Taxes at $1,776. Again, Aberdeen, low property taxes. Love Aberdeen. Insurance of $2,800 a month or $2,800 a year. I calculated in repairs of $4,800 for the year, so I actually used $400 a month for repairs. Water, sewer, garbage, $1,800. I calculated property management fee of 10%, so $4,140. So what that does is that would cover your property management as if all the units are rented. So if you had to go out and you had to re-rent a unit, that might cost you a half a month's lease. So that's usually what they charge down there. That's different in Snohomish and King County. But Grays Harbor, half a month. Hopefully none of them are watching me. Okay, so property management fees. Then what I did then is I took let's see here. So net operating income. So then I calculated net operating income, and I took all the rents together for the year, so the $41,400, and I subtracted out the total expenses for the property, and that would leave you $24,014. And then we calculated out the debt service, the annual debt service, and that would be that would leave you with a pre-tax cash flow of $902. So what that says is, so your cash on cash gives you about 1% return annually. Not very much, but if you can get that thing to cash flow, which we calculated in a pretty good amount for repairs and maintenance. I also included property management fees in there. So that one actually came close to breaking even. Really, I think it's right in there.
Right.
I think I did I subtract out? The only thing I'm not sure if I did is just, oh no, there's a vacancy. Vacancy's in there. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah. I subtracted out the vacancy rate as well. So normally when I'm doing these, I don't usually use 5%. So I kind of fudged on that. I left it the way they had it written in the listing. Normally I like to calculate in 1 month per unit, but that's often overstated. To be fair, a lot of times you have tenants that stay somewhere 5 or 10 years. And so there's none of that. And so the actual average, can be very, very much closer to 5%. But anyway, so if you want to be super conservative, use 1 month per unit as a vacancy rate. But this one came really close to penciling, right? So I really like it that the cash flow at least looked positive up front. Right. And that was using some fairly conservative numbers. And that was just 25% down. So my investor, one of the investors I have I'm working with right now has up to 250 that he could put down. But if we could spread that out across a couple properties, then we could really diversify his investment portfolio. So maybe we pick up a triplex in Aberdeen and maybe a duplex in Bremerton. So because Bremerton's another area where you can get properties to pencil. Right. And if you're going to use a DSCR loan, it has to pencil. So you either have to put more money down to make it pencil, or you have to find a property that pencils with 25% down. So that's the tricky thing when you're using a DSCR loan. You actually do have to put enough money down to where it actually will pencil.
In a way, it really does force discipline on the decision. I mean,
Yeah.
because
Well, it becomes very straightforward. I'm
yeah,
not doing research on most properties because they're not going to pencil. They're not going
right.
to cash flow. So, and we absolutely, for a DSCR loan, it has to cash flow. So in a way, I kind of like that requirement because that's going to protect you as the investor.
Well, let me put it this way, okay? They do have DSCR programs where you could drop below the 1.0
Yeah,
line, right? You can go
right.
down. They do have DSCR loans where you can go down to 0.75, right?
Yeah.
Problem with that is you pay for that privilege,
I
and
figured you were going to say that, Dan. It
mm,
always comes back to it's a higher interest rate cap.
it's a
He,
higher.
he does this bait and switch with me. He says, "Oh, but Kat, we can do this if it's just 0.75 ratio between monthly rent and or the incoming rent versus the monthly payment. We can sweeten this pot for you,
We
but it's going
can
to cost you.
we can do miracles for the right price.
Perform miracles for the right price."
That's right.
Okay, so are we going to tell stories?
Let's tell stories. Yes.
Hey, story time. I love story time. I have clients. Just got them into a house. I guess I shouldn't say their first names, but I want to because they're so cute. But anyway, I've been working with this couple for about 4 years. It might be longer, actually, because I was actually sending letters back then for marketing. Mailing letters. They called me from a letter. I went out. I took a look at their townhouse, gave them a price for what I would go for it back then. And I've stayed in touch with them ever since while they've been working towards being able to afford the home of their dreams because they've raised their kids. They have adult children now. They've got grandkids and they want the kids to stay over, their adult sons and their daughter-in-law, and they want the grandkids to be able to stay. So they've been looking for this dream home we've been looking really fairly hard the last year, but they haven't really qualified because the interest rates keep going up, you guys. So they would make more money and the interest rates would go up again. And so what they did was this last year, they started working double shifts. They're nurses and they started working 2 shifts a day. So they doubled their income in the last year. And the lender could recognize it if it's been a solid year. And that's what it's been. So good for them. I'm proud of them. Super proud of them. So we've been looking at houses for the past few months, off and on for the past couple of years. But again, they didn't qualify really. So without selling their town, they didn't want to sell their townhouse and have to move twice. That's kind of the story. They could have sold their townhouse and bought something, but they really wanted to be able to afford the payment for both the house, the big house, and their current townhome situation. And so they finally do qualify now. That just happened a couple months ago. So we've been looking. And last week I took them out to see a house in Lake Stevens. And these are really, Dan, these houses were really quite nice. And they shouldn't have still been on the market. They were on the market over 14 days. The first one looked very much like a flip. It had all the modern flooring, the quartz countertops. It was in Lake Stevens, had 4 bedrooms. It was a split. But dang it, if it didn't have a decent view of Lake Stevens. And I mean, I got to tell you, for the price, I thought it was priced well. I think it was just over 7. And my clients really liked it. They did. They really had a nice backyard, had a nice back deck. But we had one other house to go see, and it was out in Arlington. And we never went out to Arlington before because I believe they work North Seattle. And they've been living kind of in the South Everett area over towards Silver Firs. And so we ended up going out to see this one house in Arlington, which it looked pretty good on paper. But you pull up to the front of the house, Maggie gets out of the car and she doesn't talk. Like she doesn't ever have anything to say about any house. Maggie, what do you think about this house? And she never really has anything to say. Frank will ask her, I'm talking, Frank's talking, Maggie. Oh, I said their name. Anyway, the wife doesn't usually. Sorry, I forget what I'm doing when I'm on lives. I forget myself. Anyway, the wife doesn't usually communicate a lot about the homes that we've been looking at. For one thing, they haven't exactly met the criteria that she wants, and they're just not exactly what she's really loves. They're just looking at try to kind of settling. And so we wind up at this house in Arlington that she's had her eye on, and they finally did a couple price reductions to where she thought it looked a lot more attractive. And so it's been on the market 35 days. We pull up out front, and she gets out of the car and she goes, "I'm home." She's just looking at the front of the house. She's standing on the sidewalk leading up to the front door, and she's like, "I'm home, Kat." And I was like, oh my God, she's in love with this house. Now, it has a 3-car garage. It has some brick detail on the front, and it just looks like such a more quality home than the things that we had been looking at closer in. And so this community is quite nice. We went in the house, and it was like, wow, at every step. You get into the family room. It's a 2-story wall of windows overlooking a golf course. Wow. Now, you can't see a lot of the golf course, which actually is good because you have a lot of privacy. There's still a bunch of trees, evergreen trees behind there, but you do have a little view that you can look off to the right, and you can almost see the green for that hole.
Oh, wow.
So you can see the golfers out there, and the golf trail goes right behind their lawn there. So I got to tell you, it is so cool. They slapped on quartz countertops on the original cabinets, but they painted the cabinets so it looks super clean. They painted the island dark blue. It's beautiful. Anyway, they painted all the woodwork, the oak woodwork. They painted it white. It just modernized the place. So wow. It was something. They were absolutely beside themselves. They really were.
Now this is not the home with the copper.
No, this is not the home with the copper plating on the flats. It's a different one. I was showing different buyers that one. That was interesting. We'll get into that in a second. But anyway, so this couple, they're actually over the moon. Took their family there to take a look at it this past weekend, and it was so much fun to watch the oohs and the ahs from the adult family members and the kids. The 4-year-olds, twins, just running around going crazy. Just everybody loved everything about the house. We were there an hour and a half. It was amazing. It was really fun. Wow. So yeah, that's a heartwarming story. They're just over the moon. They're so happy. So I wanted to go a little bit into a negotiation I had recently of kind of what happens. So, in this particular case, this was about another case about a week ago. Oh, okay. We took a look at a house. They decided they loved it. They decided to make an offer. So we came in enough low for a 2-1 buy down. So we asked the seller to pay for a 2-1 buy down. So we came in full price, asking for a 2-1 buy down. Well, the seller had made a couple of price concessions over the previous couple of weeks. And so what we did was we submitted our offer early in the afternoon, didn't hear back that day. So I think we had given them until the next day to get back to us. Overnight, a cash buyer calls the agent up and says they're making a cash offer. The cash offer comes in 2:00 the next day. Agent calls me up and says, hey, the cash offer is a couple $1,000s higher than your net to the seller, and they're willing to close in 14 days. So the seller is looking at their offer now. So a couple hours go by, and the listing agent calls me back. And because my clients don't know what to do, we don't know whether we should try to escalate them or, I don't like that when an offer sneaks in at the last minute. And this is not really that market for that. So that made me uncomfortable. And I didn't really want to put my buyers through that emotionally if the seller's just going to take the cash offer. So it didn't make a lot of sense to me for us to jump in and play ball. I just felt like we were just going to put my buyers through the emotional ringer. So my buyers had kind of gotten sad when I told them what had happened. And then the listing agent called me up and had said, hey, Kat, my sellers don't think they really want to work with this cash buyer. And I'm like, why? And she's, well, they've got a 1% earnest money. I'm like, a 1% earnest money with cash? I'm like, that didn't make any sense. So, because my buyers came in 2%, right? Right. Because that's a minimum, right? I feel like in this market, you should be at least 2%. Anyway, so what the listing agents did was she said, listen, if your buyers will come up and net my sellers a loss of just $10,000 instead of $20,000, under asking price, we will go with your offer. And so that's what we did. We raised our offer up to where the seller would net just 10 less than what we were asking. And so we got signed around, mutual acceptance, and now we're negotiating the inspection, of which there was just a few items on. But that's, those are things that you have to watch out for. A property can be on the market for a month or two, and you could still wind up with 2 stinking offers.
That's right.
So, that other offer creeping up just annoyed the Bee Gees out of me. And, but that's reality. That does happen. And it did get my clients to pay a bit more. The seller would have countered us anyway, probably. But bottom line is my clients are still getting a good value on that property because it's the sellers were right at where they priced it right. It was, with the market having gone up the 9% since they purchased it, it actually should have sold for more, but it's the time of year.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, so my clients are getting a good value. And you, Dan, this is what I tell people this time of year. This is the time to get a good value. I'm not going to say good deal, but it's a good value. So what they would have paid, 30, 40,000 for a month or two ago, they're not going to be able to negotiate.
Right.
So anyway, just wanted to put that story out there because I love success stories, and we beat cash. Hey,
that's a win. That's a win. Any way you look at it.
It is a win. It is a win. So that's those two things, and then the other thing, I have an investor that I'm working with right now, couple, but this one particular investor out of state, and he's got some money that is just sitting in a bank account that he wants to get invested into something, so it's doing something for him. So he wants to take half of this bucket of cash he got from inheriting a house or something, and turn around and invest that into multifamily. So I've got him searches set up in Grays Harbor, because I like Grays Harbor, Dan.
Yes, you do.
And Kitsap County, my daughter lives in Kitsap County, but Kitsap County also is an area where multifamily is priced a little bit lower, and it has a tendency to cash flow a little easier than it does over here in King County or Snohomish County. So, of course, I've got him set up for a search with Snohomish County and Skagit County as well. I think it's going to be tougher to get those to cash flow.
Right.
To be fair. And so far, everything that I've looked at that has cash flowed or looked like it's going to cash flow is in Kitsap County or Grays Harbor County. The ones I've tried to cash flow in Marysville don't even come close. Even if he put his whole chunk of cash down towards one property, it still doesn't cash flow. So he's better off, I think, diversifying between Grays Harbor and Kitsap right now and holding those properties, hoping for some appreciation over time. Of course, we're hoping that rents will go up also over the next couple of years so that his nearly break-even cash flow situation turns into something more meaningful over time. And that will make it more sellable. And who knows, maybe interest rates will go down.
Could happen. Could.
It could happen. And if interest rates go down, he could refinance. He might even be able to pull some money out and buy another one.
Yes,
and buy another multifamily.
Yes.
So if that happens, he would be poised. All he needs is 25% down for his next house, and he can use the DSCR loan for the next property that he wants to buy.
You can do it with less. You can do it with less.
I know, but you're going to tell me it's going to cost me money. Like my interest rate's going to go up, Dan. I don't like it when you say things like that.
Actually, honestly,
I use this guy for I recommend this guy to my clients, you guys.
Hard to believe, but true.
He usually beats my other lenders though, rate wise. So I beat up on him when we're doing these lives, but he treats my clients really well. He saves them hundreds of dollars a month. I don't know how he does it. He sighs in the background.
I take a vow of poverty. That's how I do it.
A vow of poverty. Well, anyway, so that's all I got, Dan. Did we get through everything?
I think we got through everything.
It was like an hour and a half, though, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, you guys! I've been talking a lot.
It's
Did anybody
5:30.
listen to me out there? Are you guys out there? Let me see. I don't know if anybody's. Michelle Cook liked the live. Hey, Leah, Terry. Hi, guys. Anyway, I don't know if you guys are still out there, but I thought I'd say hi to a couple of you. I need another screen hooked to my phone so I can actually see like who's joining my lives.
Yes.
Hi, guys. Anyway, I got this heater over here. Look at this. Look at this bad boy. Here. This is called Mr. Heater. This is for a golf cart. See that? You see this guy? See,
Yes.
See that guy?
Yep.
It's for a golf cart. So I have it over here so that I can get good lighting on my face for you guys.
There you go. There you go. Looks good.
Be outside. So I don't want to set up my studio in the house with lights. You know that's what I'm doing down. I'm just postponing this, delaying this moving indoors thing. At some point, it's going to be 30 degrees outside, and I'm not going to be able to stay outside.
Well, let's do this. I think this is the best live stream we've ever had. So,
oh, do you think so, Dan?
I think it has been. Yes,
I love it when you say things like that.
I think it's the best. Number one.
It was fun. We had a lot of good material. I hope some of you guys hung in there through the investment stuff, because that was really fun for me to put together a lot of those materials. And we ran a lot of that stuff past Dan for his input as well for interest rates and things like that. So I hope you guys hung in there with us through that.
Well, and even if you didn't, if you're anything like me, you wouldn't have. But you would.
Dan falls asleep all the time. I don't know. The only reason I know is because he tells me. He tells me he's watching a video and then he falls asleep. I don't know. I can't sleep. I don't nap. There's no napping for me. I'm very jealous of people that can nap. Envious.
These days with 8.5% interest rates, I'm taking on the
I bet you're napping more.
I'm taking on the qualities of the Maytag repairman. Yes. So
I don't blame you, Dan.
That 2:30 hits, and you got to take that mid-afternoon siesta.
I'm not that person. I don't know how they do it in Spain. Is it Italy or Spain where they do siestas? Or was that what it's called?
Yeah, well, I think
Siesta, right?
over in Europe and in Mexico too. I think.
Oh, that's right. They do it there too. Oh, I don't know. I can never do that.
Yeah. I could.
No,
easy. In fact, I do it almost every day. Just lay down.
I call up Dan mid-afternoon. I'm like, hey, Dan. Hi. Oh, hey, Kat. I'm like, did I catch you sleeping again? Don't you have a job?
Snoozing my life away. Well, you got to get up early, 5:30, talk to the East Coast lenders sometimes. And by the time, getting old.
That's your excuse, huh?
That's my excuse. That's my excuse.
Okay. I guess I can go along with that.
A little nap here or there never hurts, Oh, gosh. Well, with that, let's sign off.
Did we sign off? Hey, bye, TikTokers. See you guys again. Hey, we do this on Tuesdays. Usually, we always shoot for like 3. Never works out. So it's usually 4 to 5:30. So come back and join us then. Bye, guys. Bye, Ryan. Michelle Cook, I don't know if she's still there. That's my daughter, by the way, in Kingston. Bye, guys. Okay, signing off of here.
And we're signing off.